Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 14th round of the 16 Cheat Racing League here on RaceSpot TV. We apologise for the difficulties in getting going, but we are racing. We've had a caution early. We'll come back to that in just one moment's time. But out front, it is Matt Cook leading the way from Martin Miller by 1/10 of a second on the racetrack. Terry Mattinson in the third position, Josh Chin in fourth, Ray Kingsbury in the fifth position, then Chad Peterson rounds out your top six right now. Will Vincent along with Aaron Likens. And Aaron, one of the most important things is that Tim Holgate is out of the race.
Yes, that was our first and only yellow up to this point, and once again, victim to things out of his control. Randy Krosno clipped the apron coming out of turn two, started spinning. Holgate went high, not high enough, came into the path of Kingsbury, got clipped, got sent to the inside wall. Both Krosno and Kingsbury continued, but for Tim Holgate, he's going to be credited with a last place, 27th place finish.
I say we'll try and get ourselves a replay of that when we get ourselves another caution on the racetrack. But we are here at Iowa Speedway, the track that the drivers call the bull ring. It is flat out 14 degrees worth of banking on this magnificent racetrack. And the second caution is out here at the Iowa Speedway. Get confirmation of who that is in just one moment's time. And the thing is as well, Aaron, at the racetrack like this, you get one car go off, you quite often end up getting about 3 or 4 drivers collected in the incident.
Yeah, it's very easy here to clip the apron, as that's lucky to have a multiple car accident. Nell McBride does a 360, keeps it going, and is going to be okay. But yeah, as I said, this track is flat out, and when things happen here, they happen in a hurry, and it's really hard to jump out of the gas and not have an issue. Sometimes you can lift out, lose the rear, or lift out and maybe start turning a little bit too much, and the apron, both yellows have been caused by the apron.
The apron at Iowa Speedway is so prevalent for these drivers, and for Nell McBride, very lucky to keep it on the racetrack. We've had incidents similar to that in practice as well, where he was able to keep it going. As Kevin Crest right now has just been waved around the pace car. Pit road is open. Everyone should be coming onto pit road this time by. A couple of drivers are, a couple of drivers aren't. This is interesting.
This is the first time I think we've seen a massive split strategy this year. I count 2, 4, 6, 8, about 9 cars staying out. A lot of cars pitting. I think Brad Sanford was our first car to come in. We had Ray Kingsbury, who I think was in 5th, so I think he might have been our first place highest running car, but not a good pit stop for him. 2 cars are going to beat him out. Sanford and Connor Cross are going to beat him out, but first time we've seen multiple strategies this year.
Indeed it is. So this is one of the big things of the race so far. Tim Holgate is out of the race. He was involved in that first caution of the day. Randy Crosno clipped the apron as all the drivers swerved to avoid him. You had a 2-car, what started off as a 2-car incident, and you had Tim Holgate out of the race, credited for the last place finish. Ray Kingsbury came up the racetrack trying to avoid Crosno, and that put Tim Holgate spearing into the outside safety barrier. And ironically, it was the same 2 drivers involved in an incident at New Hampshire just 1 week ago.
Yeah, those 2 drivers I think are going to want to remove the magnets that they seem to have, but this incident, really nothing. Maybe Holgate, he did say on the radio, maybe he could have gone up a little bit higher. Things here happen so fast, and for Kingsbury, he had 2 options: go high and hope a car wasn't there, or hit the spinning car of Randy Krosno. Obviously, he's going to go where the car isn't spinning, and unfortunately, Holgate was there.
So then, under our second caution of the day here at Iowa Speedway, and the way it seems right now is that Matt Cook is leading the way from Martin Miller, and he has led since the drop of this green flag. Matt Cook qualified on pole position, Martin Miller in second. In fact, they were the only 2 drivers to qualify within the 17-second bracket. Everyone else was down in the 18-second range. Third place right now is Terry Mattinson. Fourth place is Josh Chin. Fifth place is Chad Peterson. Sixth is Chuck Eisenbarth. Seventh is Vic Cordial. Eighth, Jeffrey Arg. Ninth is Nefriarg, and 10th is Doyle Johnson, the same on the racetrack as we speak. But Aaron, you talk about the apron here, and the apron really does catch out a lot of drivers. in turn number 1 and 2, with the bumps down on that inside, especially on cold tyres, very easy for that car to slide to the left of the racetrack just a little bit, clip that apron, and it really does send you spinning here. In many ways, it's a bit like the apron at Texas, where you touch it, it's pretty much game over.
Pretty much game over, and it's so easy to do, especially with that bump. If that bump upsets the car and the driver gets maybe a little bit spooked, thinking that their car is going to shoot to the outside, you'll lift off the gas, which is going to increase how good your car is going to steer, and immediately you hit the apron and around you go. Another thing, racing here, very close, very tight. If you get right tucked up behind somebody's rear wing, you may lose the vision really of where the apron is, and it doesn't take much. All you have to do is nip it and around it.
First safety car, we're going to go back to racing with a total of 20 laps scored complete in this race. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you to the first broadcast of RaceSpot TV. Will Vincent along with Aaron Likens. And for those of you who are just joining us one more time, Tim Holgate is out of the race. That really is an exclamation point on the bad luck he's had of late, and that is his championship charge done. We really are now down to just 2 drivers. We have got ourselves a Matt Cook out front, and then we've got Josh Chin. He is currently scored in the 5th position. A little bit of a confusion right now. Kevin Kress has scored almost a lap ahead of your leaders, but it is going to be Matt Cook bringing the field back to the green flag here at Iowa Speedway. Gets a good job there over Martin Miller. Terry Simpson falls down into the 3rd position, and Josh Chin is being left out to dry on the outside line right now, and cautions back out.
As we've got multiple cars involved in turns 1 and 2, Joe Branch and Nefriog, who had such a stellar run last week, not going to duplicate this week, as incident in turn 1, and it did start with Nefriog, and Joe Branch got sent way up into the air. So 2 cars, and immediately we go right back to yellow.
Indeed, yeah, and what happened there is he got turned, just touched the right front tyre there of Doyle Johnson, making his first start in IndyCar in quite a while, and that sent Nefriog upside down in for Joe Branch as well, experiencing 2 of the National Guard Panther cars out, and the one incident there, huge bad luck for Joe Branch. He's had a really up and down season to date.
Oh, when racing luck goes bad, week after week, things after things out of your control just seems to happen, and Randy Krosno right in front of that had no issues getting by, just barely squeaked by, but that hole closed, and immediately the car Nefriog entered the path of Joe Branch, and really there was nothing Joe Branch could have done there. And when racing luck turns, you get put into those situations where you can do nothing. You are just a passenger along for the ride, and you watch the rest of the race from the sidelines.
That is going to be hugely disappointing for those 2 drivers, especially as we had the same thing actually with Nefru towards the end of last season, in that he kind of had a string of bad luck